Welcome. This is East Academia. Today we are going to talk about buck converter with RLE load. It's a continuation of the other tutorials that we posted before in our YouTube channel. So my name is Brian Madena and my colleague is Emmanuel Wambua. So as we had discussed on the previous tutorial, the circuit diagram for a buck converter with an RLE load is as shown. So we have a power source, a switch, freewheeling diode, and the load itself. So today you are going to make sure you understand how these circuits, each component in this circuit operates, and what is the role of each of these components that are in this circuit. Then after which we are going to develop more questions concerning this type of circuit, and we are going to do some analysis, and later we are going to do an example for a buck converter with an RLE load. So the first part you can see is a power source. So this power source, since this is a buck converter, we say that these converters, which are known as choppers, these are, we say they are DC to DC converters. DC to DC converters means that we are able to get we get a variable DC voltage from a fixed DC voltage. So in the source side here is a fixed DC voltage, but we are able to vary this DC voltage here depending on we are able to vary this DC voltage depending on how we are going to switch this circuit, okay? So this power source here, the power source can be anything like a battery or a rectified DC, okay? So rectified DC is nothing but DC. So when you come to the switch part, the switch can be a power transistor such as a BJT. And in this case, for these BJTs or power transistors to be used as switch, they usually operated in two modes, which is in cutoff or saturation. And in this case, they are not going to be used as amplifiers whereby they are operated in the linear region. So we are going to operate them in the cutoff mode and the saturation mode. So, and that is how we are going to use BJT as the switches. Then we have the Darlington MOSFET, we have the HBTs, and we have the silicon controlled rectifiers, also known as thyristor. One thing in common about these switches is that they require a base drive to operate. They require base drive to operate. So what exactly do you mean in this base drive? So for us to turn on the switch, base drive is going to be present. So when the base drive is present, or the base pulse or signal is present, the switch is going to be turned on. And when the base signal or pulse is absent, the switch is turned off. Okay? So out of all these switches, this silicon controlled rectifier, the thyristor, has a disadvantage when it's used for a DC to DC converter or a chopper. Why? The disadvantage of using a thyristor is that on DC, because you're operating with DC here, so we realize we are going to need a separate turn-off or forced commutation circuit, okay, to turn off the thyristor. This is because for DC, there's no voltage zero required to turn off the thyristor. So why are we saying this? It is because when you come to the process of turning off a thyristor, which is known as commutation, for us to be able to turn off a thyristor, we need two things. We need to satisfy two requirements. The first requirement is that the anode current should be less or fall below the holding current. And what exactly is the holding current? Holding current is the minimum current that is required to start conduction. Okay? Another type of current that is available is what is known as the latching current, denoted by IL, but these we are going to discuss in a separate video on thyristor. But this latching current is that current required to maintain conduction after removal of the gate pulse. So, usually, the latching current is higher than the holding current. All these details we are going to talk on a separate video whereby we'll be talking about thyristor commutation and thyristors itself. And then the second reason, the second requirement for us to be able to turn off a thyristor is that a reverse voltage has to be applied for a sufficient time to enable it to enable the thyristor recover its blocking state. Okay? So when we see here, in this DC-DC converter, this buck converter, we do not have a DC voltage is usually constant and fixed. And so since this DC voltage does not fall towards zero, you are not able to turn off the thyristor just like that. So in this case, we're going to need a separate commutation circuit. However, this thyristor is what is recommended for high power applications. So for any low power applications, we usually do not recommend the use of thyristor, but it is much recommended to use the thyristor for high power applications. So the next device that you are seeing here is this freewheeling diode. So what exactly is a freewheeling diode? So a freewheeling diode, as we say, a freewheeling diode, the work of this freewheeling diode is that it allows the load current to flow through it when the device or the switch is off. Okay? In other words, it provides a path for inductor current or energy when the switch is off. Okay? So you see, when the switch is closed, say the switch is closed here, the current is going to flow this way, and you call this IO1. Okay, we are going to maintain this convention, this one being IO1, and when the switch is off, current is going to freewheel through the freewheeling diode here, and this we can call IO2. Okay? This is because when the switch is on, the inductor stores energy, okay, charge, and when the switch is off, still this inductor has got some energy that needs to be dissipated, and the only path that the only way that this energy is dissipated is through the freewheeling diode. So otherwise, what if we couldn't have the freewheeling diode? Then the high EMF of the inductor, as the load current tends to decrease, would cause damage to the switching device. So the next item that we're going to discuss is the load. An example of a back EMF load is a DC motor. So basically, this is the how this circuit, the circuit components of this type of converter operate. So please do not forget to subscribe and to click on the bell icon for notifications. And thank you for watching East Academia.